I have a surprise entrepreneur. I'm a homer. So Austin Ekeler, running back, superstar for the Los Angeles Chargers. Welcome to the Playbook.
Hey, I appreciate it, David. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
You know, this is so exciting for me, not just because obviously I'm always partial to my Los Angeles Chargers, but more importantly, you and I share so many similar interests off the field. Number one, I'm going to start with what's most important to me is philanthropy. When I ran Lee Steinberg, the big sports agency, every athlete of ours had to have a charitable purpose or cause, or we wouldn't even represent them. So I'm always amazed when there's not a requirement, when a young athlete really has a bigger vision of their life than just, being an incredible running back or incredible NFL star, on starting that foundation, you have so many things that you were dealing with. It's not like you were the number one pick out of the draft. You had all of these question marks in your future, but yet you somehow saw the importance of building the Austin Ekeler Foundation. What for you was the motivation or inspiration between starting your foundation?
Yeah, David, I think it's just because I never lost touch with that kid that I used to be growing up, kind of looking up and thinking, wow, this is bigger than me. Just my dreams were huge. It seemed like it was out of reach. And I think I never lost touch with that. And now that I'm in it, I've made those goals, made those accomplishments. And now I'm find myself, having success with it as well. I really never forget that kid that I used to be, thinking like, hey, I'm working towards it, but I don't know if it's realistic or I don't know if I could do it. And that's what's really driven me to start the Austin Ekeler Foundation. And with my foundation, what I'm really trying to do is keep kids' dreams alive, to encourage the passions, encourage them to express themselves. And I'm doing that by providing them resources. The project that I've done so far, for me, that resource was the gym growing up. That's just one of my personal resources. I've ventured out further because I understand a lot of kids are into different things, not just kids, like just people in general, just usually the younger generation, because that's when you're really aspiring to see, okay, what do I want to do with my life? So I built a weight room for Santa Barbara High School. That resonates with me because that's where I learned how to, work hard, where I learned, social skills. I just learned so many just things that are able to transfer over into my older life that I still see myself using today. And then that's what I want to do with the foundation. It's provide resources. So there's another project that I'm working on. I can't get too deep into it because it's not finalized yet, but it'll be a nationwide project that's really going to help kids be able to express themselves, be able to show their passions, and just learn about themselves and other kids in general. And that's really what I'm trying to do, because for me, I see my story as kind of, I was the underdog, right? I came from a really, really 2 stoplight town, right? There's 2 stoplights in my town. There's 5,000 people. And it's crazy because actually a buddy of mine that I graduated high school from also plays for the Raiders. We're best friends. We've been best friends forever. So 2 small town kids ended up making it to the NFL. But we had very limited resources, limited connections. I went to a Division II school that was basically just a college level high school type atmosphere. We had like maybe a couple hundred people in our stands during our game. And so it just seemed like I didn't get distracted by that. I just kept focusing on what was in front of me. And I kept trying to take advantage of the opportunities that I had in front of me. And now I see myself having success in this. And so now I'm basically trying to, with my foundation, help that person that I used to be have that same route, and now I'm older. So now I'm trying to spread the love throughout the entire United States and maybe globally someday. But I'm just trying to show kids and just show younger generations that, hey, here's some resources, use them, find out what you want to do in the future.
You know what's so remarkable about, I've been around this game for a long time, dealt with so many athletes, celebrities, entertainers, billionaires, millionaires, and entrepreneurs within the game. And a lot of people tie their name to a foundation. They show up to an event, but they have so many different other people that are truly doing and integrating the work. And yet looking at what you're doing is so hands-on, including, you're creating your own 6-step process of the lessons that you've learned through your experience. I totally identify. I was unlike you, an average Division III football player at Occidental College. So, know what it's like to play in front of nobody, with nobody, including some freshman year, your coach is not even knowing your name. Yeah. But one of the things that I saw that you instituted when you made the league which in itself, coming from Division II, I want to explain to a lot of people who may not understand the odds of making the NFL from a Division II school. They're extremely big odds. And you made the team, but you also did something that I encourage so many people to do. You went to Coach Lynn, who's a friend of mine. And you asked him, as you were trying out for the team, what do you need to do to make the team? And just like Coach Lynn, he actually gave you some things to do. And, unlike other people, you actually did them. Do you remember any of those things that he told you?
Yeah. I remember all of them directly. He told me first, first of all, I was so nervous when I did it because I just wanted to make sure I took advantage of every opportunity. I was like, okay, I got to go ask Coach Lynn. I remember I walked in the room. I was just so nervous because I had never talked to him before. And so I remember I just was trying to say something. I was like, I like your coaching style. Like that's the first thing that came out of my mouth, like some just jumbo. But
did he know who you are? Like,
he had no idea.
Yeah.
He had no idea who I was. I wore number 3.
Yeah.
There's 90 guys in camp. He only knows like the real starters. It's his first year there. So he hasn't built a connection. It was my first year. He had no idea until I made the team. Is what he even told me. He never came out and said it, but I remember he said, you got to protect the quarterback, don't fumble, and go talk to Coach Stu, who was our special teams coordinator. And so he's like, that's how you're going to make the team. You got to go talk to Coach Stu. You got to make it on special teams because we already had our starter running back, and that was the position I played. And I was 6th string coming in. So there's not many 6 strings that make the team. So that's what I did. Went over, talked to Coach Stu, and had the same conversation and got more into it.
What do you think it was? I always say the common denominator between the hyper successful people like yourself and all the others in all the industries is a desire that you must be what you can be, regardless of what other people think you can be. And I see that represents you so much in your entire career that you don't listen to what other people say about you. And I'm sure from high school on, you've had plenty of people that say you can't do this, you won't do this. Yeah. What is it that gives you that desire? For me,
do you always hear that story? Like people tell you can't. See, for me, I never had that situation because I drowned those people out. Like if you weren't with me in my little circle, my circle was very air sealed. Like it was almost impossible to get into my circle. My circle was included just people that I had in sports around me, usually my teammates. Not very many times it was anyone outside of that. And so all of us as on the team, we're working towards a greater goal. And if you were on as far as my mindset and my wavelength of how hard I think you should be working because of how hard I'm working and I'm trying to push you and you need to push me, then I didn't associate myself with you. So I never had the people that told me that I couldn't do something, I can't do that. I only had people around me that helped support me. And that's what I think helped me stay motivated and focused because I didn't have time to mess around with people that were just doubting me. Like you're just like trying to hitch onto my wagon. I can't carry you too. And I need people to uplift me. And so I think that's what's really put my mindset in a place where it is today because I dropped everything and just really focus on what my passions are, even back to high school and in college. And then if you do that, it's going to allow you to stay motivated. It's going to allow you not to get distracted and stay on track and really achieve the things, at least make some type of progress towards the things you want to do.
In every athlete's life, we have to also transition from the field, especially in football, the field into the business world, the philanthropy world, et cetera. And you're laying the groundwork while you're playing. But it does take, I remember my freshman year in college, I got ran over by Christian Okoye. And my mom's favorite piece of advice was doctor, lawyer, or failure. And that's what went through my head when I was lying there. So that's when I always say I started planning for a second backup choice because I was like you. There was nothing going to stop me except for talent to getting to the NFL. Right. And eventually that's what actually stopped me. But moreover, looking at that, future, you signed a big deal in March. And there's always a risk for people like you and I that when we actually accomplish something that we don't continue doing the things that we're supposed to do. Now, I know you're probably the strongest running back in the NFL. You're a big weightlifter. You incredible talent and a huge heart. Was there any letdown or any of, an empty feeling when you actually, finally are the starter, you sign a big deal, your dreams come true in essence, you've attached your emotions to this outcome for so long. Was there any sort of letdown or understanding of that moment for you?
For me, the moment it became a moment that I feel like it was coming for me. Like I felt like it was part of my path almost. I believe my path is bigger than football. Football is just a piece and is a platform that I'm using to help get to my journey, which I believe is helping this earth. I'm trying to leave it a better place than I came. I'm really trying to help people understand that they can really achieve and be in the parts of their passion. So I feel like this moment was really his time was like, hey, the spotlight is now on you in Los Angeles, one of the biggest markets in the world. And now you're going to be here for a few years. Now it's your time to, obviously leave an impact on, the team and what I'm doing outside of the league as well, and show others that, hey, like, this is a way that we can all work together and just grow together. I feel like with my contract, it wasn't like a letdown or anything like that. It was actually like really inspiring for me because it was like, hey, like I'm still pushing, I'm still going, like I feel like I'm still on my path to, achieving what I'm really passionate about. And that's with the Austin Ekeler Foundation, trying to provide those resources to communities.
That is awesome. And then there's another interest that you and I share in the gaming world. You created what I call the Triple G, the Gridiron Gaming Group, a streaming company and group of athletes and individuals. You also own a franchise like I do, the Fan Control Football League franchise of the Wild Aces. For you, what was the interest that you have, in gaming, and what parallels from the capabilities you have from all your on-field experiences now to transition them to a streaming world?
Right. So you're going to find out with me just in the short, time we have together, but I also am trying to help people in gridiron gaming as well. Like it's about the community involvement for me there. Like that, I didn't start it to make money. I started it because for me, I started streaming because COVID started happening. Everything started shutting down. I needed a way to connect with my community and really show that, hey, like I care about you guys. I love you guys. I want to support you guys like you guys support me, and give back. You always have to give back to the community. If you don't, you're going to be forgotten. They're going to push you under the rug. And so it was a way for me to get myself in front of people, and I was having so much fun with it. I was making a lot of connections. I was getting brand deals, things like that, like just things that I never would have gotten into. And I was like, other people can do this. And that's why I started Gridiron Gaming Group, to start a community of people that are already on Twitch, but kind of show them the ropes as far as what I'm doing that's had success, as far as building my brand, reaching out to community members, getting them excited about a space where they can really interact on a personal level and see you outside of your sport or whatever you're doing. And also, it's a way to, also make money on the side. But like anything, if you go into it trying to make money at the beginning, like it's usually not going to work and get burnt out. And so it's always been about community involvement. That's why I continue to grow with more people, and just I bring in people that are positive, that want to reach out, want to try to grow their brand.
It's very similar to the way I built my brand and my community, with the intention of empowering over 1 billion people to be happy. I consider you one of my 1,000 to empower 1,000 to empower 1,000. So we create this collective consciousness of the capabilities that we want people to have, being able to believe in the possibilities and the impossibilities, to empower them to follow their dreams. And you're providing the resources to do that. Both, when I started in this space, it became unfathomable of the power of the streaming community and the opportunities. So although we went into it for the right cause and purpose, what to you, lesson wise, did you learn about the size, scope, and scale and capability of a streaming community compared to even, being a professional football player and a star of the Chargers? When I stepped into the realm of that world, I'm still blown away after 30 years of branding people, the Troy Aikmans, the Warren Moons, and these guys. I walk into it, I'm like, holy moly, like, it's incredible how big this is. What lessons have you learned about the power of that community compared to, even the traditional community that you built?
Right. Well, I start to see, with society, we have like these turnovers. We have trends that start to turn over. Generations start getting older. And so why I see it so big is because we have this younger generation that grew up with technology that's starting to get older. They're starting to be, late teenagers, early 20s. And so their type of content they're looking for is different than, the people in their 30s and 40s right now who had traditional like TV, news, things like that. Those are starting to like kind of funnel out. Now it's starting to get like the technological age is starting to get older. So video games are becoming more relevant. Streaming's become more relevant. Like look at like Hulu, Netflix, all these other like actual streaming like TV platforms are becoming the mainstream thing. And so if you look at trends as far as how the earth works, as far as just maturing and growing. Now you're seeing the technological age. That's why streaming, and especially on like me streaming on Twitch, is more relevant today and it's more popular. If I would have been doing this, 10 years ago, they'd be like, what do you do? Like what but now it's like, oh yeah, you're on Twitch. Okay, that's cool. Like, let me tune in. So that's why I see, and it's a deeper connection too. So it's a different type of content. And so that's why I think it's so much bigger, and you can do anything. Like I literally was just streaming a workout that I was doing right before this podcast. Like I set up my little tripod, put my phone in there, and I just record. And I had like 100 something people just in there just watching me. Like there's people just are looking for like different types of ways to connect. And that's what streaming, that's why it's been so big.
It's amazing. Last topic I have to touch because it's so important to me, and you and I share this one, is sleep. I actually changed my perspective of man-made constructive calendar. So I start my day at 9 p.m. So I say my tomorrow starts today, but it's not that I wake up at 9 p.m. It's that I utilize an unwinding routine so that I can maximize the recovery of my body, but also take advantage of a clear connection subconsciously and unconsciously to what I consider to be this huge source of, light, love, lessons, this unbelievable power that, really fuels me. And I start my day at 4 a.m. at a different place than most people start their next day, their man-made construct day. I know sleep is extremely important to you. Both of us do stuff with Sleep Number. For you, when did that idea or understanding of the importance of sleep, and what do you do specifically to help recover so quickly, which is so essential in what you do?
For me, sleep became really real as far as the importance of it when I got into the NFL. And the reason behind that is because we go like 11, 12-hour days as far as just meetings, practices, workouts, film studies, coming home. And
be careful what you wish for, kids. Now you're getting the real. All you see is game day. Like Marcellus Wiley told me, I play the game for free. They pay me for all this other stuff.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah. All the work behind the scenes is brutal on the body and brutal on your mind too. Mainly the mind. Like your body is going to make it through, but you need sleep to rejuvenate. And so that's where I really found out, hey, I actually need to get into a routine, and sleep was a big part of the routine. Like I need to be in bed at 10 o'clock so I can wake up at 6 a.m. so I can get my day started, so I can get my full 8 hours in. Because if I don't get my full 8 hours in, I'm going to be dragging the next morning. And in the NFL, if you're dragging, you don't have time, because then boom, you get one play of practice. If they don't like that play's not going in. Now you lost an opportunity. And it literally is like that. Like, especially with a new coaching staff, if you're a young player, you're not established, like I have been in the past. It's like, hey, I don't have any time to mess up. So I got to make sure I'm refreshed. I make sure my mind is sharp. And so sleep, especially with Sleep Number coming in, I love my Sleep Number bed. I check my score every morning. How did I sleep? It tells you like, when you're restless and stuff like that. So I've been killing it, keeping my score up. It's easy to track. So shout out to Sleep Number. But it's been just part of the routine as being a pro. That's one thing you learn when you come into the NFL, how to be a pro. And it's all about your routine.
Well, I may be completely biased, but I think you are part of what's going to be one of the greatest backfields in the NFL next year and for future years to come, especially with your boy Herbert there. It's going to be an incredible season, and I can't wait to look and see you on the sidelines in person this year. Now that we're opening things up, it's going to be incredible. Make sure that you check out the Gridiron Gaining Group. Make sure we all support Austin Ekeler's foundation to help more kids live in the way that Austin's lived, to reach their potential. You are a testament to the idea of enjoying the consistent, everyday, persistent without quit pursuit of your potential. And it's just amazing what you're able to do on and off the field, and how important sleep is to that as well. So Austin, I appreciate your time, my friend.
Yeah.
An incredible
if I could leave with one thing,
please.
Just one word of mindset that I like to give to everyone I talk to that's trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to figure out what they want to do in life. Find things that you're passionate about. It might be one thing, it might be a couple things, and immerse yourself into those things. And what I mean by that is learn as much as you can about it, be around those types of people that are already doing it, and just put yourself into that world. And you do that, don't worry about the money, because the money will come. Just learn, connect, and just get in there. Because if you get into that industry or whatever that service, the art, whatever it is, just put yourself into it and then worry about, making your finances down the road. But you need to get yourself into it, because then you won't get burnt out. You'll stay motivated. You'll have people to bounce the ideas off of. That'll become your culture. It'll become your life. It'll become your mindset of how to really move in that space. And that's what I love to leave entrepreneurs with. They always ask for advice. Don't worry about the money. If you come into something worrying about the money, you're going to get burnt out, because you're not going to make money at first and you're going to get discouraged and you're going to be like, dang, I suck. No, you don't suck. You just went about it backwards. And so that's one thing I like to leave all entrepreneurs, everyone out there trying to grow themselves and trying to really find what they want to do. And I appreciate you, David, for having me on and let me speak my mind.
Oh, you're amazing, man. What amazing advice. And you are a testament to one of my best pieces of advice, which is be kind to your future self by doing good deeds, and keep on doing all those good deeds, my brother. I'm so proud of you. Anything I can do to help you. This is the incredible Austin Ekeler, superstar running back for the Los Angeles Chargers, Gridiron Gaming Group, and the Austin Ekeler Foundation, here with David Meltzer, Entrepreneurs, the Playbook.